Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be touring Evergreen Harbor for my save file. So if this is the first video you are seeing of mine, my name is Tommy and I am currently working on a save file for The Sims 4. This is what I am calling the Disney save. So every single lot, family, every inch of The Sims, I am changing it to be Disney themed. And yes, for those of you who have been asking me, that does include the vacation worlds and eventually the Star Wars world. I will work something out with that. But we did already previously complete Willow Creek, which was the first world that I tackled for the Disney save. If you have never seen any of this, I definitely recommend you check it out. I actually have a playlist linked in my description box down below called the Disney save, and it goes through every single one of my speed builds, create sims in order from this very first world, followed by a tour video of this world at the end, and then follows into Evergreen Harbor, which is what we are going to be touring today. So Willow Creek is based after Princess and the Frog. We have Beauty and the Beast in this area, and we do have some sprinklings of the rescuers here and there. And like I mentioned, we've got the LaBeoufs, we have Tiana and Naveen, we have Belle's father, we have Gaston and LeFou, and then some commercial and community lots themed after Disney. So once we completed Willow Creek, the next world that actually came out was Evergreen Harbor. This was brand new at the time, so I decided to jump right in and start this one. Evergreen Harbor is based after Toy Stories 1, 2, and 3. We have some random things in here like Walt and Lily and Disney, and then we actually have Lady and the Tramp 2, which again I know is a random one, but I will talk about it later. And then this section down here is basically exclusively Wall-E. We do have the classic Up house, and we have a Big Hero 6 themed lot in the harbor as well. So we're going to be going through the lots today and kind of talking about some of my favorites. If you've never seen any of my speed builds, just getting a chance to look at a lot of them in a little bit more depth, more of the families. And also, if you are somebody who has seen every single one of my speed builds for the Disney save and every single one of my Create Sims, there is still some cool information in this video for you because I always make changes after the videos. Usually things will change. I will have to change ideas. Sometimes people will comment really cool ideas and then I'll want to implement them later. There are definitely going to be some differences in today's video, so I definitely recommend you stick around. This is going to be a rather long video. World tour videos are particularly long, but I hope that you guys enjoy it anyway. And before we get started, just to let you know, I do actually have a Patreon to support the Disney save. I do put monstrous amounts of time into this save file, and it is a very long, in-depth, detailed project that I so appreciate anybody who wants to support. So if you are one of those people, I have different tiers of things that you can get for perks and levels of support, and that is all laid out on my Patreon. So that is linked down below as well as at the end of the video if you are interested in joining my Disney save Patreon. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. I know so many of you have been really waiting for this, so I don't want to waste any more time. Now, one thing that's important to note, the difference between Evergreen Harbor and Willow Creek, we definitely have way less community lots here. So this area holds basically all of our community lots. This is Port Promise. And then we do have one more community lot, sort of, over in this area. This is called Conifer Station. But I do actually want to start out in Grimm's Quarry because this is sort of our residential and also includes apartment renovations. So let's check out what we've got going on over here. Now these three houses are entirely Toy Story. This is the Davis family, and they are obviously based after the first Toy Story. Now on my gallery, I do have a version of the Toy Story 2, 3, and 4 house that you can actually replace for this lot so that you can have your family grow up if you are somebody who likes to play with aging on. I actually, as a default for the save file, have aging turned off for all characters, and that is just for testing purposes. But also when I play it later, when it's completely finished, I can definitely see myself keeping it off. Nevertheless, those of you who maybe are interested in like your typical family, like a parenthood type of family, you're going to want to have a house to move into because this one is definitely a little bit small for the family. Now it is nighttime, so hopefully we will get some daytime going here momentarily, but this is the first Toy Story house. We have Andy Davis, Molly, their mother, Jennifer, and of course their dog Buster. So what I was mentioning earlier, Molly and Andy actually share this bedroom and they will eventually outgrow it. So on my gallery, and my gallery ID is TomilynYT. Let's just go to my profile real quick. TomilynYT. If you are looking for anything here, maybe you don't want to download the whole save file or your computer cannot have save files, you are going to want to go look for me on the gallery, and then you can just download all of the lots individually if you were somebody who would just rather have 1 or 2 lots here and there. So this is the Toy Story 2, 3, and 4 house. It is a lot replacement for this one. So you can obviously pick whichever one you prefer, but this house is a 2-bedroom so that Molly and Andy can grow up, whereas the one that I am showing off here is just a 2-bedroom for 1 for Jennifer and then 1 for the kids. So a 3-bedroom for the other one, excuse me. And obviously this is a very classic house. It's decorated to be like Andy's birthday, the way that it was shown in the movie, and they are sort of like packing up the house and getting ready to move to the next one. Very cute family, very busy. Jennifer is obviously a very hands-on kind of parent, and she's got 2 kids and a puppy, so there's just a lot going on. Little garage area, very, very cute. So of course we couldn't do just Andy's house. We also had to do Sid's house. So Sid's family is literally the complete opposite of the Davis family in every single way. They're super dysfunctional. They are super mean. Sid is like the neighborhood bully and doesn't do well at school and is mean to his sister. I actually kind of did, if you check out a lot of the speed builds and the creative sims, you will get more lore that I have implemented for the save. And I think that's one of the best things to watch those videos for, because you'll be able to see like my full picture, especially things that aren't really depicted in like just the houses and stuff. Like you're not going to know all of the detailed storylines just from like lot descriptions and all of that good stuff. So like I said, these guys are literally completely opposite. Their parents I actually had to make up myself. They are the first Sims in the save file that are just completely made up by me. And I don't plan to do that very often, and don't even really like the idea of doing it. The only reason we had to is because they are never shown in the movie and you can't have children living by themselves. And I did want to include Sid. So we have Sid, we have Hannah and their dog Scud, and then their parents I just totally made up, but they're just super dysfunctional. Dad likes to go bowling all the time, never really home, doesn't have an actual job. Mom is trying, but it's a lot to do on her own, so it just tends to be more of your like chaotic household. But their house is a little bit more modern. It's definitely a larger family home, and a lot of it ended up being my own design, except for the exterior. So moving on, we have 2 apartments in this neighborhood. Now, I have renamed the apartment complex Andy's Toy Box, and the reason we've done that is because all of the Andy's Toys characters live in these apartments, including this apartment complex here and this one over here. This one actually has Toy Story 2 toys. So these are the Andy's Toy Box apartment complexes, and the first one, of course, we had to do Buzz and Woody. So they are young adult Sims. They don't actually know Andy in the save file for obvious reasons. We have to change a few things whenever we do something like this, but they are really, really great to play not only roommates, but if you are interested in playing some of the interactive careers. Woody is in the criminal justice career, and obviously Buzz is in the astronaut career. So they are specifically made so that you can try both of those careers, maybe for like the first time. So they're both completely at the beginning of their careers, and that's just for you to have an opportunity to possibly play with both of them. So we have Woody here, and then we have Buzz. And I just want to always provide like opportunity to do different experiences in The Sims. Even if we're doing like a Disney save, I still want to have all of this stuff available. So if you're somebody who wants to play with a family, or you're somebody who wants to try out a career that you've never tried before, I'm trying to hit everything so that there's always something new to do and something new to try out. And then obviously we have like this apartment reno here, which the bedrooms themselves are themed very thematically after the characters. We have Buzz's room here, and then we have Woody's room here, very Western, with their general living area just being a actual representation of the toy box that they live in. Andy's Toy Box itself is like little caravan, and it has a color scheme going, so I just kind of stole the color scheme and decorated this room to match. And they're just a cute little friend roommate situation with some cool careers to try out if you are interested in something like that. They're also in a club. So they are in a club called Andy's Toys, and it includes all of the immediate characters. There are some Toy Story townies running around. We have RC, we have tour guide Barbie, Zurg, Emperor Zurg, who is actually related to Buzz, is running around the neighborhood here, but they are not a part of this club just because you could only have so many members in the club. Moving on to our next apartment, the one right next door, we actually have the other immediate toys from the first Toy Story movie. So we have Ham, Rex, and Slinky. Now, some of you are going to ask me right off the bat, where is Mr. Potato Head? Where is Bo Peep? I get that question a lot. I actually just saved them for a different world. I have a plan to put them somewhere else, so don't worry, they will be included. In fact, there are 4 Toy Story movies, so there might be more Toy Story in future worlds as well. So don't worry about that. If you don't see a character that's kind of like a main character in one of my videos, it's probably because I'm planning to put them somewhere else. But for this particular apartment, these guys, again, roommates, a little bit more crammed. Ham and Slink actually share a room. And obviously, again, very themed after their particular characters, whereas we've got like the brown here for Slink and the cats and dogs references. And Ham is, he's got this poster, which was literally perfect. New skill day. Interesting. I wonder if I added that. I don't remember that ever being here. And then we've got Rex's room here. Now, these guys are all college students. So again, we've got roommates, but this is more of your experience to be able to play with university. So they each are already enrolled in, I think they all go to the same university, and they each have their own set of classes already set to go. I cannot remember what I set them to, but I know that Ham is more in like the financial or business career major. And then we had Rex in either science or archaeology. And then Slink, I actually don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe it's something you're just going to have to find out. Again, the apartment is like very much matching the other one, whereas like apartments will look the same. Usually if they're designed by the same person and owned by the same person, they tend to be the same in like the common areas. But this household's different because it's like more of like your party. Everybody's going to school. They have jobs. They're very busy, but they like to hang out. They like to socialize. And everybody in this apartment rather, is very good friends. So, also something else they love is like video gaming. So we've got like lots of video games all over the place. We've got one here. Rex has this huge one in his room. And then we have like another one set up in this room. So really cool. Cool way to experience apartment life in a couple of different ways, and we have like lots of Toy Story characters. Now the next household in this area is not Toy Story, and this is kind of your standalone because this is based after Lady and the Tramp 2. So this is called Junkyard Dogs, this lot and the entire little group here. I wanted to build a junkyard for Evergreen Harbor. Obviously we have like the theme going on with the trash cleanup and trying to restore Evergreen Harbor. So I wanted to make sure that there was a junkyard of some kind. I feel like it matches so perfectly. And the movie that ended up fitting that was Lady and the Tramp 2. There's actually quite a bit of the movie takes place in a junkyard. So I had the idea to change the dog sim characters from that movie and make them into humans. So if you've seen Lady and the Tramp 2, we have Angel, we have Buster, Ruby, and Sparky, and they are all based after dog characters, but they live in like this restored mix match of half junkyard, half living, and these are like repurposed shipping containers with repurposed walling and like put together walling. We have a bus tiny home converted into like a little apartment. This is actually Buster's area because he's like the head of the Junkyard Dogs, and they are just completely drama filled, really fun young adult characters. Actually, I think Sparky is an elder, but he tends to keep to himself. He's like more quiet, and these guys are always up to something. They've got drama going on. They are all deep into different careers and activities, and one thing that kind of like holds them together, this is Angel's room. It's really, really cute, and this is Ruby's room, of course. She likes music, she likes fashion. One thing that kind of keeps them all together here is the fact that they're all kind of here from circumstance and not necessarily because they want to be. So it's a very different dynamic, and a lot of them have literally nowhere else to go, and like characters like Sparky have just been here forever. So this is not an ideal living situation and definitely can be a little bit rough at times, but they make it their own. They try to make the best of what they can, and there's lots of dog references all over this lot. So we've got like dog paw prints and lots of mismatched reused furniture, stuff that they've collected from the junkyard, and like you'll just notice like the little dogs all over the place if you look everywhere. So this is very much a lot of my own design, and I think that those end up being some of my favorites when it comes to the save file. The save file in general is like a big mix of half stuff that I am recreating from something and then half of things that I am completely designing on my own. So it's really fun. I just think it's a little bit different and interesting. Let's move on to this district. We have Port Promise here, where again, I told you guys most of our community lots are actually located. So a lot of this area is based after Wall-E, and that's because when I was looking at it, it just seemed so dirty and nasty by default that it made me think of Wall-E. So we have two main characters from Wall-E here. We have Eve. She is actually an alien sim, and then we have Wall-E and his dog Hal. This is one of my favorite lots. So this is probably my favorite lot in Evergreen Harbor. This is Wall-E's transport vehicle. This is straight taken from the movie and a recreation of the house that Wall-E, the little robot in the movie, lives in. I absolutely love this. I think that this was so much fun to make. I love how different of a home it ends up feeling like. And if you are a fan of the movie and you remember, you would know that he has like this little machine in there that holds all of his collectibles that kind of rotates and brings things forward for him to like place on shelves and stuff. So I've done a little bit of a recreation of something like that over here, but obviously we did have to change a little bit just so that it works for him and is functional for him as a character. He is one of the like innovators, people that are helping towards working Evergreen Harbor into being like a greener, better area. So he's got his machines and equipment and like robotic stuff there. I believe he is a civil designer. Is that what this career is called? It's the new one that comes with Eco Lifestyle. I gave him and Eve both this career, and they are in separate branches of one another so that you can use them for either branch. Everything in here, again, very rundown, repurposed, mismatched, but so cool. We've got like the movie posters on the wall from his little obsession with movies and film and art. And then another cool thing about this house is actually the trash cube fence outside, and I intend to do more with this idea later on, but you'll remember from the movie that he is like a trash compactor, and that's essentially his job, is to clean up everything. So he's made a little fence outside to kind of section off this area, and I just love this home. I think this is really, really clever. Hal is based after the cockroach from the movie. I can't actually, where is Hal? And Hal has, you're not going to be able to see it because he's going to keep spinning around, but he has like the little E on his side from Wall-E. Get it? Okay, we love to see it. Anyway, moving on to Wall-E's significant other, who is Eve, and she is our one and only alien of the save file. So again, if you're interested in playing with an alien sim, she's going to be a good one. She's also very clean-cut, professional, and she lives in a futuristic spaceship. So again, very unconventional housing situation, but I couldn't think of what to do other than to have her live in her actual spaceship that she touches down on in the movie. This is a recreation of that. So I called it the Axiom. It's actually not the Axiom, because the Axiom is the entire ship itself. This is more of like a sub-ship of it, or a piece of it. Very classic design, slim, modern. She's got a lot of her technology in here, and it's a private dwelling, so she doesn't have people come over very often. She has the pod bed for like the alien aesthetic, and it's a very clean cut, modern, ultra modern, as modern as it gets home that I think, again, is like a very unique experience. Please ignore the decorations all over the place. It's like a bug, and it's starting to get me really annoyed. Actually, before we leave this lot, I should try and show you her. Oh yeah, she's outside working on some plants and stuff. So she's really pretty. She's just like based after and modeled after the robot as much as I could possibly do. This is actually her work clothes. And she is actually the world. Let me see if I can find this. I haven't played in over a week because I've been moving and like I forget how everything functions in this game. So she is the eco master of this world. So Evergreen Harbor by default comes with a townie that is named the Eco Master, and it says this sim is the neighborhood's eco master. They can inspire other sims to be eco-conscious. So that's the sim that usually comes like knocking on your door to check and see if you want to become a part of like the voting system and the initiatives and the planning and stuff. And I've actually replaced that type, that townie type, with her. So she will be that person. And the other ones for this world have been replaced by Disney characters as well. And that's really exciting. I had no idea you could do that. That is 100% an idea of my patrons. They are literally brilliant. And I actually have a private Discord. That's one of the perks that I offer with my Patreon. And we will often chat about new ideas for the save file. I will ask for recommendations. I will ask for advice because I am definitely not like a know-it-all on the workings of this game. So they have really been so helpful in helping me figure out everything that I need to do and just like working in different ideas that I never would have thought of. Now we are moving on to our one and only restaurant. This is called Eve's Terrarium, and again, very sleek, very modern. It is based after Eve. We've got a lot of like the blue glowing lights, the very modern, sleek aesthetic to it. Very small restaurant. This place actually only serves like space type food and vegetarian food, I believe. So very eco-conscious, limited seating, and interesting design. It actually has a bar up top that you can come sit down at. We have the terrarium here itself. The kitchen is in the basement, a little bit smaller, but still totally functional. And it's just something a little bit different, which is what I'm always striving to do. It is not owned by Eve. She's got too much on her plate. So this is more of just like part of Evergreen Harbor working towards like a better, greener future and opening up some places that are more eco-conscious in general. Moving on, we have the one and only currently public pool of the save file. If I had not went back and rewatched WALL-E, I would not have thought to do this, but I'm so glad that I did. So this is called the Lido Deck, and in the movie, this is actually the main hub of the Axiom ship where all of the humans are living. And it is a pool, but they don't use it as a pool because nobody actually gets out of their chairs and swims. And this is totally a recreation of that part of the spaceship, with the added idea that we've got like a lot of advertisement, TVs, things like that always going on around the pool area. So it ends up being this really complicated, futuristic pool nightclub. You can actually hire a vendor for this station from Discovery University, and you can hire bartenders, and there's just like a lot to do here. And then we've got all these crazy advertisements and TVs going on around the top, which again is an idea from WALL-E itself. And I just think this lot is so much fun. It's unlike anything I've ever built. And Sims love it. Like, there's a lazy river, there's just the individual pools that you can go swim into. These are all functional, by the way. Everything in the save file is very thoroughly tested. You don't have to worry for the most part about things not working. Obviously patches can break things, but I try my absolute best. And in here we've got like the bathroom shower area. A little bit complicated with the roofing structure there, but nevertheless, just a very unique lot that I think a lot of you will really, really enjoy. So, moving on, I think we probably will check out all of the lots today. In my Willow Creek tour, I actually skipped a few because that world is just a little bit bigger, but we don't have as many, so I'll try and go over everything that we have in Evergreen Harbor. I should also mention, and I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but this is available for download already. It comes with Evergreen Harbor already done and Willow Creek completely done. It is a very hefty save file, just so you know. I use a lot of objects. I would recommend that you have like a decent computer to try and run this, or it's going to be a little bit choppy and slow, but go ahead and try it. And I do use all packs. I own every pack for The Sims 4, including the Star Wars pack, as of like a day ago. So you probably need all of the packs. You can try it without. I don't know what happens. This is called Microbot. And this is our one and only Big Hero 6 themed build in the save file so far. I do intend to do more in like in Brightchester and maybe in San Myshuno. But for now, seeing as this is a harbor area, we have some scenes from Big Hero 6 that take place right on the harbor, including the scenes where Hero goes to the Microbot abandoned factory and finds out that Yokai is making recreations of his Microbot. So this is all based after that. The building itself is actually designed directly from the movie. This is taken from the movie. And then the interior is made to be like this underground industrial nightclub that you can have a DJ. This is the little bar area. It's very different than any other nightclub that I have in the save file so far. And it's supposed to be more of like your local teen or college hangout, kind of underground, kind of people don't really know that it's here unless you're invited sort of a deal. And then something that's really fun about this lot, this is just like an interesting little bit, but if you go through the bathroom here, there's actually a tunnel system underneath the lot, and that again, based after the movie, and we've done the BH6 here all glowing, and it's unnecessary, but it's fine. I had to do it. It was something that was a fun idea of mine. So really cool. I wish I could stay forever and like point out every single detail, but I gotta keep it moving, or it's just gonna be we're gonna be here forever. And we are gonna be moving on to the last area. So this is called Conifer Station. Now we have 2 apartment renos again, we have 2 residentials, and we have a retail. So let's actually start with Walt and Lillian Disney. This was a fan request of one of my patrons. That is something that I also offer on Patreon, is a once per world request. There are some exceptions to that, including certain worlds I do not take requests because they are too small, and I obviously have certain rules. It's all laid out over on my Patreon if you are interested in any of that. But somebody had requested that I recreate the firehouse from Disneyland that Walt Disney was infamously known to live in. And this was actually the pack that introduced firefighters to the game, and this area in particular looks like it needs like a police station or a fire station. So it just made total complete sense to do this. And yeah, this is a recreation of the building from Disneyland. I've never been there, but I did pretty extensive research to try and get this correct. And it is an apartment. It also does double as like a fire station, but a non-functional one. So this is the apartment itself. Again, all totally based after Disneyland. I watched tour videos to try to get this as correct as possible. I did have to change some stuff so that people could live here. We added like a bathroom. I added another bedroom downstairs so that they could like actually sleep in a regular bed instead of sleeping on couches. We have an office, and this is the spot that is where the fire truck is. This is a very pieced together fire truck that I've made out of debug objects and random stuff. If we ever get real fire trucks added, I'll probably replace this, but it was just like a fun little thing to do, and I knew I had to have the fire truck in here. It's actually fully decorated on the inside, even though you can't see any of it. I did go that extra step to put some stuff in here and make sure that this place got decorated. So it's just funny. I thought it was cute. And they have like a whole backyard and a patio area. Now them in particular, Willow Creek had a lot of celebrities. And for Evergreen Harbor, I tried to tone back on that so that you could get a different experience. But Walt and Lillian are both celebrity Sims. And I think they are platinum. Yes. Platinum Celebrity Sims, Global Superstar, which means they'll never lose ranking. And Walt in particular is completely like filled with all sorts of extra traits that you can only get from ranking things up and doing all sorts of stuff. So he's just a very diverse, interesting, like he has the most traits of any sim in the game currently. And he also just keeps like a very small social circle. He only really hangs out with Lillian and their dog Pluto, who was added after I put this creative sim out. So something about Walt and Lillian, Walt in particular, really loved bloodhounds, and I decided to give them a bloodhound because I think that makes a lot of sense. Their bloodhound's name is Pluto, for obvious reasons. So that was a cute little addition. Lillian is painter, illustrator, fashionista, supportive of her husband, and just like a really great wife overall and companion. So they tend to keep to themselves. They kind of like watch over the world. I actually have a plan to maybe do a Hollywood Walk of Fame, kind of like Disney Walk of Fame deal, where I put all of the celebrity stars in front of this building from the different celebrity sims of the save. Like Tiana and Naveen both have celebrity tiles, and like these guys have celebrity tiles from reaching the top of the celebrity lifestyle. And also all throughout the save, you're going to find hidden Mickeys. In fact, you're going to find lots of little hidden stuff that I'm never going to point out to anybody. And they're just fun things that are all over the save, little references here and there that I don't tell anybody about, that I leave for you guys to find when you download the save file and just experience for the first time. And every time I update the save, I add more little things, I change things, I fix things, I update for the new packs. So this is very much a continuous work in progress, and it will continue to be through the lifetime of The Sims 4 and then past once they put the final patch out, just to make sure that everything's working. I'm totally invested in seeing this all the way through. I've had a lot of success with doing it, and I'm very grateful for that success and the support that you guys have given me and all of your lovely comments about just enjoying the save file. It keeps me motivated, so thank you so much if you are one of those people. Moving on to our last like typical residential, we have the Up house with the beautiful balloons and the gorgeous colorful house and garden, and we have the backdrop. So these guys are a little bit different from the movie. They are, you will notice that Ellie is still here with Carl. That is a choice that I made just personally. You could always just remove her. And I like to try to remind people that if you don't like a decision that I made with the save because it's either too different from a movie or you would have rather have done something else, whenever you download the save file, you can always just change whatever you didn't like. So you could remove her if you wanted to stay a little bit more true to the movie, but they are adoptive parents of Carl here. So Carl does live here. As you can see, he is in Scouts, and he's actually at the beginning of his Scouts career so that you can go through and collect all the badges yourself if you would like to. And then they have Doug, and they have their cat Kevin, who is based after the bird from the movie. And yes, Kevin is a girl. And just to go over their bedrooms really quick, we have Carl's room here, or is it Carl? No, Russell. We have Russell's room here. I might have just called him Carl a moment ago, with Ellie's beautiful mural, his Scouts board that he needs, and like schoolwork and stuff like that. We have Carl and Ellie's room. This is recreated from the movie. In fact, a large portion of this house is like the living room area, and everything is all done from screenshots from the movie. Slightly changed here and there for whatever I felt like I needed. And the kitchen area. Really cute house. Ellie is actually a veterinarian, and she's working in Brindleton Bay on a lot that is not customly redone yet, but at some point I will once I get to that world. Carl is a freelancer balloon salesman, and then yeah, Russell's got his school and his Scouts going on. So once again, a different type of household with the elder parents, and then you've got the adoptive child. Very different compared to some of the roommates in typical families. Almost done here. We have our apartments. So this is the last two apartment rentals for Andy's Toy Box, and we have apartment 1 here, and actually it might be called apartment 97. All the numbers and stuff mean something. I can't sit here all day and like go over every single detail because it'll just be too long, but These are Toy Story 2 characters, and they're really interesting again because they're just like drama. So this is Jessie and Prospector. Jessie is actually Prospector's niece, and Woody and Jessie are related. They are cousins. So they're all like family, and it actually, if you go into cast, you will see it in their cast things. It shows how they're related to one another. And they are both actors on Woody's Roundup, and they are both like working to kind of, because it doesn't make sense, right? Like, why would these two who are so maybe traditionally like farmland countryside type of dwellers live in an apartment complex? But it's actually because they want to stay close to the ability to have their acting careers, which are located a little bit more in the city area. So their rooms are very themed. Prospector's room here, and then we have Jessie's room with some references to Emily's room, which was her owner. This is like a total steal from the movie there. And the little plot for their household is that Jessie is like the new and upcoming actress, and she's getting more screen time on Woody's Roundup. And Pete, Prospector Pete, is not very happy about that, so he's basically doing everything he can to sabotage it, including trying to get them to move, ruining her gigs, and just generally like ruining her life. But she doesn't know, and she just loves her uncle, and she thinks the world of him, so she has no idea what's going on. And Buster actually lives with them. Buster, why do I keep calling every animal in this game Buster? Bullseye lives with them, and obviously Bullseye is a horse, but today he is a dog, and he lives with Jessie just because that makes the most sense. Right next door, we have Al from Al's Toy Barn from Toy Story 2, and not a very popular character, I know, not like your one that you would necessarily even think to put in the save file, but I like to sprinkle some villains here and there, and I think because he lives in an apartment in the movie, it made a lot of sense to put him in an apartment here. And again, his apartment is completely designed to be like his was in the movie, so we have like his collection area from Woody's Roundup here. And then just based after like what the apartment itself looked like, I tried to go around and decorate everything else to be very similar. You'll notice it's kind of modern. It's definitely newly redone, and that is built into the lore of Evergreen Harbor in my save file. He's got an office with his Chicken Man costume because he does own Al's Toy Barn, which is our retail, and we will be going there in a second just to visit. And then, yeah, we've got Al here. He's the worst. He's a local celebrity. He's nasty. He loves his phone. He has no friends. And he's just a retail owner. That's all he cares about. So without further ado, let's go to our final lot of Evergreen Harbor. And that is Al's Toy Barn. In Toy Story 2, it is much, much larger than this. However, we had to make do with like this lot size, and I think it does a decent job. It's very similar to the one from the movie, and it's just an opportunity to own kind of like a toy store. So for the CC version of the save, and there will be a CC version of the save file, I will actually replace all of these toys with Disney toys, particularly Pixar ones and ones that are shown in the movie like Buzz Lightyear's and things like that. But for the regular version of the save, you can come here and get children's toys, school stuff, backpacks, toddler stuff. Not all of it is for sale because it actually gets very crammed in here and sometimes can be a little bit glitchy. But just in general, the pack that adds retail, which I think is Dine Out, is glitchy. He has his own office. There's some bathrooms. It's 100% like all references from the movie. We've got the station that shows off Buzz. We've got the barn house, like little posts for each of the checkout stations, and the tour guide Barbie area, or just the Barbie area in general. Very cute. I actually had a lot of fun playing here, surprisingly, when I was testing the save. I had a ton of fun playing there and selling and trying to get people to buy, because he's kind of rude and nasty and people don't really like him, so he's not really great at selling things. And that is everything here today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Again, make sure you check out the playlist link down below. It has all of my builds starting from Willow Creek up until now, and even for the new world that I am currently working on, which is Forgotten Hollow. And there's so much there that I can't explain in today's video, but I have so many great plans for Forgotten Hollow. We are already like deep into it, but you can check out the speed builds from that world. Again, my Patreon is linked down below if you're interested. I have a private Discord. I do updates weekly and works in progress and a lot of polls and voting, and sometimes even letting you guys pick which world we're going to do next. The download link for this version of the save, which is the most current version, will be linked down below. Go ahead and check that out. Join my Discord if you have any issues. I will help you download and install it. Just hit me up over there. That is also linked down below. And let me know what you guys thought of today's video and of my Disney save. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, let me know what your favorite part was and what your favorite lot or family was. I hope you stick around for more, because there is just so much more to come, including the new world that we are going to be getting with Snowy Escape, that I will definitely be jumping into right after Forgotten Hollow to start renovating for the Disney save. So I'm really, really excited to bring all of that to my channel. Thank you so much to my current patrons for everything that you guys do. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Hit that little bell icon below to turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time I post. And I will talk to you all in the next one.